Hello again. It is sometimes thought that Judaism is a religion exclusively concerned with Jews and the ethical standards to which they should adhere. This isn't true. It's a universal religion with rules that all humanity are urged to follow. Jews have 613 commandments which they are recommended to observe. These are found in the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. That's Genesis, Deuteronomy, Exodus, and so on. For ordinary people that aren't Jews, though, there are only 7 laws or rules of conduct, and these are to be found in the Talmud. The Talmud is a commentary on the Torah, and by examining the Torah, some rabbis long time ago, over 1,000 years, came up with the idea that they had identified 7 universal laws for the whole of humanity, for the sons of Noah. They're also known as the Noachide rules, or laws. They consist of 6 prohibitions and 1 positive law, which tells us something which should be done. The laws for the sons of Noah are as follows. Don't murder, do not steal, do not worship false gods, do not be sexually immoral, do not eat a limb removed from a live animal, do not curse God, and the positive injunction is set up courts and bring offenders to justice. 5 of these laws are of course to be found in the 10 Commandments, and most civilized nations follow them all. Those non-Jews who observe these rules are designated righteous Gentiles and are assured of their place in the world to come. Now, most viewers have probably never heard of any of this and regard it as being nothing at all to do with them. After all, what has the Talmud got to do with anybody who isn't Jewish? The answer is curious, and it's something which is quite beloved of some conspiracy theorists. Many Orthodox Jewish sects are only concerned with the interests of their own members. They are inward-looking. One, though, Chabad Lubavitch, works with secular Jews as well as the religious, and not only that, it also preaches to non-Jews. Not in order to convert them to Judaism, but rather to get Gentiles to start subscribing to the 7 laws of the children of Noah. Their leader, Reb Schneerson, who died some while ago, was widely rumoured to be the Messiah, but that's another story entirely. So revered was he that even Ronald Reagan and George Bush Sr. publicly endorsed his work and urged everybody to follow the Noachide laws. In the description to this video, I give a link to a presidential proclamation, 4921, made by Ronald Reagan on April the 3rd, 1982. In it, he says, "One shining example for people of all faiths of what education ought to be is that provided by the Lubavitch movement, headed by Rabbi Menachem Schneerson, a worldwide spiritual leader who will celebrate his 80th birthday on April the 4th, 1982. The Lubavitcher Rebbe's work stands as a reminder that knowledge is an unworthy goal unless it is accompanied by moral and spiritual wisdom and understanding. He has provided a vivid example of the eternal validity of the 7 Noachide laws, a moral code for us all, regardless of religious faith. May he go from strength to strength." Okay, I will cheerfully admit that this sounds a bit weird to me. I have no idea at all why Ronald Reagan should have gone out of his way publicly to endorse the Lubavitch people and to encourage us all to follow the 7 laws of the sons of Noah. It gets weirder, though, because I also give a link to Proclamation 5956 by George Bush Sr. 7 years later, in which he says, "The principles of moral and ethical conduct that form the basis of all civilizations come to us in part from the centuries-old 7 Noachide laws. The Noachide laws are actually 7 commandments given to man by God as recorded in the Old Testament. These commandments include prohibitions against murder, robbery, adultery, blasphemy and greed, as well as a positive order to establish courts of justice. Through the leadership of Rabbi Menachem Schneerson and the worldwide Lubavitch movement, the Noachide law and standards of conduct duly derived from them have been promulgated around the world. It is fitting that we honour Rabbi Schneerson and acknowledge his important contributions to society. As I say, most people in Britain have never even heard of the Noachide laws, let alone Chabad Lubavitch, but it does seem that the Americans are a bit more clued up about this. I'm not saying there's anything sinister about it, although I'm perfectly well aware that this forms the basis for one particularly unpleasant conspiracy theory, but I find it fascinating that something of this kind should be so little known generally. I used to come across the Lubavitch people quite a bit at one time in my work, and they always struck me as an outward-looking and decent bunch of folk. I just didn't know that American presidents were so keen on them.